Welcome back to weeks 13, starting on April 16th through April 22nd. This week we cover chapter 13. Um, Trend Micro in the news, stay current. This is still fairly well up to date. Feel free to read that because that does apply to current situation. Still, let's see. The discussions from last week looked very good as I read them. The LDAP ones. What else? Um, LDAP just sticks in my head for some reason. Maybe it's the last one I read. Um, but good job on the discussion post this week. We'll follow the same format. Um, just pick one of the use cases out of chapter 13 and go ahead and reply to those use cases. Not those use cases. The case projects. Make sure you apply to those. Let's see. As we get closer to the end, our next test, we just had a test this last week, and that was due. Our next test is due near the end of the semester, May 7th. We have a test and a final exam, so be aware of that. The final exam, I believe, is 55 questions, and you get 55 minutes. Make sure you are rehearsing for that by looking at old quizzes, by looking at chapter contents, review the chapters in MindTap. I do have a skills final that I hand out in the face-to-face class. When we get closer to the end of the course, I think probably week 15, I will go ahead and give you guys that skills test, and that's just for your own assessment. You can go ahead and go through that to see, evaluate yourself and what you still remember how to do. Perhaps even keep it just for future, so you still have an idea of what you did take in this class. The assignments for week 15, an optional project, and then just a lab simulation. So week 15 is pretty light in the work. I believe 14 is rather light too. 2 simulations, and I don't think the project is that big either. Yeah, so we're definitely winding down in the projects. The class is coming to an end. Next week, I'll change the discussion content. So week 14, be prepared to look at the discussion topic changing. I've been kind of following the Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg lately. Lately. I might use that. I might go to something else. So in week 14, make sure you stay aware that the discussion will change for that week. Let's see. Vulnerability assessment, I believe, is a chapter content. When we do the vulnerability assessment, make sure you are also looking at Unit 13. Make sure you're also looking at the Kaplan Dropbox and the Kaplan test. Only one person has went in and put their Kaplan test in, and just remember that once you submit that at a 70 or above, it does raise your exam scores, number 1 through number 4, to 100%. So this person went ahead and did a submission before Chapter 3 test. So his Chapter 3 test and Chapter 4 test automatically had 100 scores on it. So he didn't have to take Exam 3, and neither will have to take Exam 4. The Kaplan quiz is just showing me you have access to Kaplan, so submit that, then you just get a free grade for that. The security policy, once again, feel free to look at SANS.org, SANS.org, or NIST.org. They have very good security policy templates. For this course, you're required to look at a security policy template, but I have you go a step further and actually make one, so you guys have a better understanding of 2 entries of a security policy template, and that template could that template could be a clean desk policy. You state for your company that at the end of shift, the desk has to be free of sticky notes, maybe clutter. You feel free to describe that yourself. Please, like I said, please, if you don't have any ideas, please use SANS or NIST.org. They will help walk you through there. There's also a site. I forget what it is, but it's a quick, easy way to make a security policy just by checking radials. You'll probably spend more time looking for the site than actually just trying to type out your security policy. And once again, it doesn't have to be the length. I would say at least 2 pages should cover 2 policies. So make sure you at least get at least 2 pages. Usually just one topic is it's almost a page. The second topic will be almost a page too. So you should have about 2 pages of work to turn in here. If you need a rubric, I can make one. But just realize that it just consists of 2 topics. You're making your own security policy for your own business, and then submit that in the Dropbox there. Since we are getting ready to wind down, make sure you are going through the grade book, checking your grades, making sure that I have not missed anything. I know this weekend D2L had some work on it, pretty lengthy work on it for both days. I did notice that I was getting old emails from last year in both D2L and my Front Range account. Make sure that I have not missed anything. If you're missing a grade or on a discussion, on a lab simulation, on a project, please go back and do those. Make sure you walk away from this course with the grade you want. What else? Let's see. Yeah, so you're allowed to go clear back to week 1 assignments. If you're looking for a project, make sure you go to content. And then down at the bottom, I have a module called projects. There we have every project for the course for you to get and retrieve yourself. If you need reading or anything else, make sure you go to the week. You can only go to this week. So go to this week, make sure you go out to Cengage, do the full book, and it might not work entirely because I'm in Edge, but then you're allowed to go back chapters here. Say we want to go back to chapter 1, and then I can do a case project, hands-on project from these older chapters. So realize that you can go back. Let's see. Maybe just double check that the scores are transferring over correctly. I know I'm working with Cengage still at the moment, trying to figure out what went wrong at the beginning of this semester. So hopefully it's fixed by the end of this course. Let's see. Anything else for week 13? I don't think there's anything more. I believe that's it. I have like coming off of a cold or something. I might hold off on grading. I already read your discussions, but maybe just so I don't make mistakes, I might give it a day or two before I submit those grades, so I'm just a little bit more clear-headed. But good job overall for week 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Once again, if you did send me an email within the last, I would say since Thursday, there's a chance that I did not receive the email. Once again, the frontrange.edu server, email server was kind of had work done on it, and I know the D2L also had work on it this weekend. And I believe that's it for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know. And just remember that next week we will change the topic to something. If you have a topic you would like to discuss about, feel free to email me, and maybe we could do that topic instead. Anyways, good work. I'll start grading here this week, and I'll catch up with you guys later.